It's kind of like riding a bike. It seems tricky at first and you're like wobbling around and thinking, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. But after a few tutorials and some practice, it clicks and you don't even think about it.
Today, we're answering a question that we get asked a lot. Do you need to be tech savvy or even a tech wizard to succeed in dropshipping? Perhaps you've been thinking about starting your own dropshipping business, but you feel intimidated by the tech side. Then this episode is for you.
That's right. We're going to be breaking down the exact technical skills that you'll need. And trust us, it's a lot simpler than you might think. I get it. It's a common question. We get it all the time. A lot of people talk themselves out of starting an online business because they think they need to be tech savvy.
That's right. So we'll break it down today. And I think it is a shame when people dismiss it immediately and don't consider whether they'd be able to do it based on the tech side of things. So hopefully we can pull down some of those barriers today, or give you an understanding of what you'd need to know so you can make a more informed decision about whether you're in a position to get started with dropshipping based on the tech side of things. So, Lewis, what basic technical skills are actually needed to run a dropshipping business?
Yeah, let's start with the basics, because we won't pretend that you don't need any skills at all, but these skills can be learned. So Shopify, for example, this will be your go-to platform for building your website, for managing orders, and for everything else in between. It's super intuitive, really easy to use. It's like using your phone. You don't think, oh, I'm not tech savvy, I can't use my phone. Eventually you learn how to use it. So with Shopify, everything's drag and drop. There are templates, there's libraries of templates that you can use to help you get started. It's very, very simple. We'll show you how to add products, how to process your orders, and just manage your store. But trust me, by the end of it, it does become second nature. It really does. I know it might sound alien to you at the moment, and you think, well, I've never used Shopify, I've never run a website. Once you've done it a few times, it just will be second nature. You won't be thinking about it. And eventually, you probably won't even be using it that much because it might be a virtual assistant that uses it for you, and they're the one managing your store. But initially, you want to get a grasp on it. And so we've got hours of training content to guide you through how to do it. But don't worry, you won't be doing any fancy coding or anything like that. The next part that is kind of within Shopify would just be a process of managing orders and data, really. It sounds more complex than it is, but most of it just involves forwarding emails and tracking orders using those little tracking codes that you get. If you ever order something and they send you a courier delivery tracking code and it says track your order, put in your postcode, and then it tells you when the order is going to be delivered. Well, customers want those things. So sometimes you've just got to copy and paste those across from your supplier, put them into your Shopify system so that your customers are notified. Again, yes, you might be doing this manually for your first few orders, but as soon as you have some systems in place and a virtual assistant, so someone maybe who you can outsource a lot of the day-to-day operations and the work to, you won't even be doing that stuff yourself either. The analytics, so the data side of things, again, sounds complicated. It's all baked into Shopify in a dashboard. So it just allows you to pull up some simple graphs and see, okay, so we have this many visitors to our website today. We have this many people add their item to cart, and we have this many people purchase. And so that's really kind of what it comes down to in its simplest form. And once you know where to look, and we'll show you where to look and what things to try to tweak and what you can change and how you can improve and control your business, it's honestly a lot less overwhelming than it seems. You don't need to be some analytical tech wizard to make it work. The other things that might require a little bit of know-how eventually, and again, this stuff can be learned, are the ads and email tools. So to get people to come to our website, the fastest way to make that happen today, rather than waiting for months for us to rise up the rankings in Google search result, is to just run some ads, because we can jump the queue and be straight at the top of Google within hours. And so tools like Google Ads for advertising, and then Klaviyo, which is the tool that we recommend for emailing out to your email list, your newsletter subscribers, or the people who abandon their cart but don't purchase on your website. We use a tool called Klaviyo, and it might sound intimidating, this whole email marketing thing, if you've never done anything like that. But once you're in, it's just like filling out a form. You fill in the details, you fill in the blanks, it's all templated. You switch on the system, and once it's done, it's kind of set it and forget it. It's pretty much just a flow of emails that will go out to every customer and will stop whenever they do the action that you want them to do. So in our case, probably when they make a purchase, and we'll stop pestering them with emails and sending them out follow-up messages with different value emails that we would send. So we've got this stuff all laid out step by step in videos inside our program to walk you through absolutely everything. So the nice thing about this is even if that stuff does sound a little bit intimidating and you think, well, I haven't done email marketing before and I haven't used Shopify before, you don't have to figure it all out alone. It's all there laid out for you in over the shoulder, step-by-step tutorials, as if you're sitting at the desk next to me and next to James and looking at our screen, watching the mouse and just doing exactly as we do.
That was the key for me when I built my dropshipping business, was that I had videos to follow. So although I was brand new to all of these tools, apart from a little bit of dabbling dropshipping before, I'd certainly never used Google Ads before, but I had a video to follow. Shopify, I had very little experience, but it was a case of following a video to understand how to use it. And because these tools are used by literally millions of users in a lot of these cases, because we go straight to the top of the market tools to use like Shopify, Google Ads, Klaviyo. These are used by literally millions of businesses. And so there's so many help articles, walkthrough videos, instructions that we can rely on and lean on to help us out with using these tools, that you don't actually have to be a tech wizard. You don't have to have any prior experience to be able to use them. I think the less experience you have of tech side of things, you probably just need a little bit more time that it would take to get used to using these tools. But fortunately, there's lots of things around us to help us. And the platforms themselves do a lot of the heavy lifting. Because millions of users are using them, they've really refined their tools to make sure they're super simple for anyone to pick up and use quickly. Now, there are a few key tools and softwares that we'll be using when we're running a dropshipping business. And I remember being surprised that I was bookmarking all of the important tools in my browser when I was building my business, and there'd only be about 5 or 6 different tabs that I bookmarked, because a lot of it is consolidated into a few apps to get used to. So the examples of these would be like Google Ads and Klaviyo. Do they require more advanced tech knowledge to use these type of tools that we may never have used before?
Yeah, some tools are like Google Ads, as you mentioned there, do have a bit of a learning curve, but nothing that can't be handled with the right approach. So yeah, Google Ads, and probably the other big one, although we don't use it as much, would be Meta Ads, which is the kind of the parent overarching name given to Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So we call it Meta Ads. And these are a little bit more complex, but again, we use them in a strategic way, and we guide you through step by step, click by click, where to click, what to type, everything is given to you. And yet they are really, really important for us driving traffic, so getting visitors to our website. But it's kind of like riding a bike. It seems tricky at first, and you're like wobbling around and thinking, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. But after a few tutorials and some practice, it clicks and you don't even think about it. You get on a bike now and you just ride it, and you don't think like, oh, I once was never able to do this. You kind of take it for granted. Another tool, like we mentioned, is Klaviyo. So Klaviyo is used for email marketing. Now, put it this way, if you send emails regularly, or you can create a PowerPoint slide, you can handle Klaviyo. It's very much point, click, edit, drag and drop, fill in the blanks. And we've got walkthroughs for each tool as well. So you're not going to be left just kind of trying to fill in templates. We will actually show you exactly how we build this stuff out, so that the stuff you input into those template emails is relevant to the market that you're in and the products that you're selling, which, by the way, we teach you how to pick as well. So none of this is left to guesswork. You're not on your own here. And once you dive in, that learning curve flattens quickly. And if there's ever anything that you think, I really don't get it, and I'm watching this video and I can't figure it out, remember, you've got a community of other entrepreneurs on the same path as you, who've probably encountered the same frustration or confusion at some point in the past. And that's the beauty of a community like that. You just ask and immediately you'll get a flood of helpful replies saying like, oh yeah, I got stuck on that, but this is what I did, this, and this. And people share videos with each other in our community to teach each other how they figured out the problem as well. So yeah, lots of great support that you can lean on, and you're very much not alone in figuring this stuff out. You won't be the first person to have come in without any idea about any of this stuff, and after a while be running your business using this stuff. It's amazing how quickly that transformation happens if you're open to learning.